Hi ladies, it's April. I'm back, and today I wanted to share some information with you about color correction. If you're like me, you have some redness, possibly some rosacea, and in the past, our only options were typically concealer, which meant layers of makeup on our face, trying to build a thick enough layer so that you couldn't see the discoloration or the distraction, right? That was distracting from your beauty. So I don't know about you guys, but for me, I've never liked heavy makeup. I think sometimes when we see it in video, it can look so beautiful and it looks so perfect, but when you see it in real life, or if you're the one that has to wear it, it's not super comfortable, and I don't know that it always looks the best. So definitely not on me. It's not something that I ever felt looked very good on me, and it definitely didn't feel good. As soon as I got home, I would want to wash it off. So I was one to probably shy away from wearing makeup instead of wearing too much makeup. But that never helped the distractions or the discolorations on my face. So I am a full-time public educator, and I don't have a lot of spare time, but the spare time I do have, I like spending it doing videos and tutorials and classes so that I can help other people that have had some of the same issues that I've experienced, and to help save you time and money, because experimenting with different products and different techniques definitely takes time and sometimes money. So hopefully that's helpful for you guys. All right, so let's get into color correction. All right, when we look at color correction, we're not looking at putting a skin tint on top of your face in layers until it covers the discoloration or distraction. What we want to do is counteract it. So when we look at different discolorations, like you can see, I have redness and pinkness, and then I even have some brown, it's somewhat like melasma right here, and then some brown spots on my cheeks. And they were worse. I get chemical peels now, which I definitely think helps. I also had to undergo skin cancer treatment in January, and I do think it helped some of the really problem issues on my face, because of course they shouldn't be there. They were abnormal skin cells. So that did help, but it also left me with some scarring. So it worked in places that I didn't even realize I had an issue, and it left me with almost like some pink scars on my cheeks. So, and they're continuing to get better as I keep doing my chemical peels also every 4 to 6 weeks. So that's great, and I'm thankful for that, but they're still there, and when they were at their height, I was definitely using color correction. So when we look at having like brown spots, oranges and reds can definitely help to counteract those. And when we're looking at reds or pinks, you could use green. You could also use orange and possibly yellow. You're going to want to experiment based on the colors on your face and your skin tone. I'm just going to show you what works on mine. If at any time you want me to help you find the perfect color correctors for your discolorations and distractions, comment match, and I'll get started on that right away for you. Okay, so let's talk about, I'm going to do different sides of my face, because what I'm going to be using today is my favorite color correctors, and they are from Saint. So they're in my 10s, and I'm going to be showing you a couple of different ones. Some of them are highlight colors that you might use as like a main foundation color or a concealer color, but I also have another contour that's great for hiding distractions and discolorations, as well as some lip and cheek colors. So that we can use. And when we're using those, they're going to provide you a little bit more coverage. You can use them over a larger area of your face. On this side of my face, I'm going to be showing you, these are also Saint, but these are the Demi. These are the color correctors. They're specifically for color correcting. And I'm going to be showing that on this, on the Demis on this side of my face. Can't talk today. These are typically placed on spots, smaller areas, with a spot brush. So I've got my spot brush right in here. Okay. So I'm going to pull my spot brush out. I found this on Amazon and it's for double-ended brushes and I just love it. It's my holder. But this is the spot brush. So you can see it's got a small end and then a bigger fluffy end. And I'll show you how I use this with the Demis. So this is great brush for the Demis. All right, for this side of my face though, I'm going to use my 10s, and I think I'm going to use either my wash brush or my shape brush. So I really love this shape brush for all things, but I think because I'm using, I'm going to use a little bit of a lighter touch, and this is a less dense brush, the wash brushes. I think I'm going to use that for these colors today. So as I look at my face, I know that June, which is, it's a highlight color. It's what someone would use for either their main shade or a highlight. And it looks like it would be a little bit dark for me, doesn't it? Well, part of that's because Saint, the cream makeup, is highly pigmented. So when you see colors, you're like, whoa, that's gonna be too dark for me. But especially because I'm using it for color correction, I'm gonna use it on places where I have some pinkness. Sometimes, and I'm also gonna use this is Aspen, and it's actually a contour. So contours tend to be cooler shades, but it also works beautifully on some of my redness and distractions. So I'm gonna dip in to a little bit of this June, and I'm gonna put it right here. And I'm just gonna use a really light touch, but you can see how the redness around my nose, down here on my lip, has pretty much just gone away. And I'm gonna show you different ones on different areas of my face. Not necessarily that I would use different ones on all over my face, but just showing you how they work. This is also Mango. It's an orangey highlight that someone might use as like a main foundation color or highlight color. I'm gonna show you that on my cheeks here where I have all of this pinkness, just so you can see what that would look like. So I'm gonna dip in. And then it's really cool because I'm using such a light touch and not very much of it. You can really see how it's not making my face look orangey, but it is totally counteracting that redness. And I just blend it out. So I use two different ones. They both work beautifully for that redness because they both have that oranginess to them, most definitely. So that's amazing. Aspen is another one. That's the contour shade I showed you. That's really good for rosacea. It's really good for sunburns, for any kind of redness. So I'm gonna show you that one on the side of my nose because my nose tends to be very pink. So dip in a little bit to that and show you what that looks like, especially in here. I have a lot of redness. But you can see how already it's not making my nose look taupey brown or anything, but it has just totally toned down that redness. And as we get older also, we have sometimes some texture on our face that we don't want to accentuate. So we don't necessarily want to go with lighter colors. We maybe want to go with a little bit of darker colors for those lines and texture that we might see in our face. So often a color like aspen can be used under the eye to help with some mild. I don't tend to have a lot of purple under my eye. I, again, like most of my face, because I have a lot of redness, have redness under my eye. So I find that using a color like aspen, that contour color that's a little bit darker, I was trying to pull it up for you, a little bit taupey-ish, right? It helps with some of the discoloration under my eye. And because I'm using such a light touch, it's not going into my lines and wrinkles. It's not accentuating those. So sometimes as we get older, it looks a little bit better to have a little bit of a darker color and not that really bright highlight. Okay. And then I'm also going to show you mango down here on my chin, because I have a lot of redness down here on my chin. And it's not making my face look orange, like I said. It is just, it's counteracting the redness that I have. But you can see that I was able to use a variety of colors. You don't have to. I could pick one of those and they would be just fine for me, but I wanted to demonstrate how all of those work for me. Usually when I'm doing it, I would just pick one to use. I'm going to use a little bit of the aspen, that contour color, right up here on my forehead, just above my eyebrows. That's where I had a lot of abnormal skin cells. So when I did the treatment in January, it really made me very red up there and left some scarring. So it definitely helps. And on my eye, so you can see how this side of my face is more toned down, right? It's more toned down, and I used those because I could cover more areas of my face. If I were looking at these brown spots down here, brown, orange, and or red is really good for these brown spots that I have. So I might use a color like mango. And I have found that I love these Saint Cream makeup ones. Comment below and let me know if you have color correctors that you like. And if so, what are they? I like to learn about new things and see if something else. This is just the only thing so far in my almost 50 years that's worked for me. And then I can see some of those spots up there. Just blend a little bit of that mango up there. But it totally just smooths out those spots. And for me, it's drastic. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but this side of my face is so much more toned down, and I don't have a gob of makeup on. I was just barely tapping in and using this really fluffy light brush to swirl it on in different areas. So I am so happy with that. I would feel totally comfortable going out in public like that. I just think it's amazing. Now on this side of my face, I'm going to show you how you can spot correct with these demi shades. So for instance, I'm going to use 03. It's a really darker orangey shade. And I have a little spot on my nose that's like a capillary, right? That's like close to the skin. And I'm going to dab it, but I just want to use just the tiniest bit right on that spot, because it's it's so red, the underlying color in it is really blue, right? When we see a color that's like so red, we know that the underlying color is blue, and to color correct blue, you would use orange, which is awesome. So it totally just erased that spot. Okay, so that spot is completely gone. I just dabbed it on, and then I'll use the fluffy end of this spot brush to just barely dab it out, which is really cool. I have another one of those broken capillaries right here on my eyelid, and I can just dab it on a little bit and then just brush it out slightly. And that's that orangey color because it's such a bright red. And then I have some broken capillaries around my nose. They're not really, really deep red, but they're a little bit red. So I might go in with a color like 01, which is a lighter orange. And again, I'm just barely tapping it in with this really light spot brush with the small end. And then I would go in where I have these broken capillaries around my nose and just lightly touch. And for me, it's amazing. I can see them like totally disappearing so quickly. And I have some redness down here. But with the demi shades, you don't want to use it over large areas of your face. You just want to hit the distractions that are, you know, or the discolorations that are most distracting, right? So for me, that really helped me right there. I have some redness right up here, right on my cheek. It's one of those scars from the treatment I had in January. So I might just take a little bit of that 03 and dab it on. And then just lightly buff it out so that it's not so noticeable. Okay, I have a lot of small spots around here, but none of them are like super terrible. But I do have a lot of redness right here around my mouth. So I would definitely want to address that. And because it's just a little bit pink, I'm gonna again, use that 01. It's just a little bit lighter, that lighter orange color, and go in and just dab the places that are most red. And then lightly buff that out. So some people use the color correctors because they're so light and you can barely tell that you have them on. Look at how great that did on that. I mean, that was like a really, really red place around my mouth. That's one of those places that kind of scarred. That I have that scarring from. But some people like to go in and just do a quick little color correcting before they put their main palette on, which is also cool, or a few spots right after. So I showed you a few things that we could do to spot treat over here. We can also take some yellow, or even if you have brown spots or a little bit of brown under your eye. Mine's not quite brown, it's more red, but you could use Petal, which is a lip and cheek color, if you had brown. But if you have some more purple or a little bit of minimal redness, you could use a yellow and go in under your eye. So just hit a few, like I might have a little bit of purpliness right there, and then just lightly dab it out. And then I just want to blend it, get it nice and blended. So I'm just getting that yellow from the Demi palette nice and blended. And that way the discolorations aren't completely distracting from my face. So when someone looks at me, they can look at my face. They're not just looking at these imperfections, right, that are drawing the eye. I want to take away from that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because redness is something that I really struggle with and have for years. And I'm really thankful that I found an answer that didn't mean putting lots and lots of heavy product and concealers on my face. So I just saw one little spot there. But so I hope that was helpful for you guys. Again, if you want me to help you find the perfect shades, whether they be the 10s from the palette or the Demi color corrector shades that are specifically for color correcting, comment match, and I'll be happy to do that for you. Hope you found this helpful. Again, if you have any other products that you like to use for color correcting, please also put those in the comments. I love learning new things. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Bye.